I've seen some chatter on Reddit over the last few days suggesting that an update is imminent. And what do you know, guys? We got one. 42.11 just dropped yesterday. And just like with the other updates, I went through the entire wall of text, which is the patch notes, and I'm here to break down what I think is a low-key, very interesting update to the game. So, let's get to it. Before we begin, however, just a quick disclaimer. Now, I didn't play the game long enough to say that all the bug fixes were actually fixed and there are no new issues, so if you guys notice something or if you think I missed something important in today's video, the comment section is yours. Call me out, share knowledge. Let's all collectively review this new update. Project Zomboid UI, and especially the crafting menu and also the recipe menu, have been topic of discussion for ages. It's probably one of the most complained about areas of the entire game, and in this update, Stone made a small attempt to make our life easier. By no means would I say the changes implemented are fixing all the issues. The crafting menu is still very busy and it's not easy to navigate, but it's something. Let's hope it's just one step in a long journey of making the crafting menu more player friendly and more modern. So what specifically changes? Well, for starters, if you have a recipe magazine like these examples over here and you right click on it, a new option will appear called Show Recipes. Hover over that and you will see all the different recipes that are being taught through this magazine. Small change, I think fairly useful because you can easily see exactly what will be the things you're able to craft with the icons associated to a given item. Also, if the item you want to craft does require a workstation, it's going to be mentioned at the top of the UI, specifically mentioning what type of a workstation is required, like a forge in this example. Another new addition is whenever you right click on an item, you will have an option called Show Craft Recipes Used In, and it's gonna send you directly to the crafting menu and show all the recipes in which this particular item is being used. Now, I do realize that after some time playing Project Zomboid, most of us know exactly what item is used in which type of a recipe, but especially for new players or whenever you find something not very common, having this option will automatically let you know if this is having any value at all for any crafting or if it's, well, basically just useless. Another small update to the recipe browser, which is low-key a fantastic quality of life improvement, is what they've done with the growing season recipes for various different plants. Now, you guys are probably familiar with the concept of growing seasons. Now, every single plant has different growing seasons and they perform better if they are sowed in a specific month of the year. All of this is now landing in a separate tab of the recipe tree where you can see all the different plants and their growing seasons. My character knows most of them because, well, for some reason I picked gardener, but you can see that we can easily browse all the different plants and know exactly when is the best time to grow them. Finally, the recipe browser will show you all the known and also the unknown recipes which are available to your character. Those which are known, if you left click on them, you will immediately bring up the crafting menu, so we can also browse this way. Never gonna use that probably, but you know, it's yet another way of kind of managing the chaos, which is all the different crafting recipes in Project Zomboid. Some of my favorite changes in 42.11 are under the balance section, and while they do not seem to be major changes, they are actually quite important and in some ways will massively impact the game. Starting with the supplies requirement for the construction of a butcher's hook, as of now you will also need an item called large hook in order to make your own butcher's hook. This item is not really so common, or at least was not very common, so some of you might be asking, okay, so where do I get it? Well, I think the easiest way is, well, basically just craft one yourself. All you need is metalworking level 2 and, you know, your basic workstations for that. But if you are too lazy or just hate metalworking altogether and don't want to have anything to do with that, well, you can also check out the loot distribution table for this item, and as you can see, you're most likely to find it in logging factories. So Either this or that. Good luck! Now the change that I want to spend more time talking about is the introduction of timed crafting actions, specifically the herb and leather drying. And I think what Indie Stone did here is actually really clever. Let me set up a couple of leather drying stations so I can show you exactly what I've done. We got 3 separate drying stations, 2 set up outside, 1 set up inside, and all we need now is just leather to be placed on those drying racks to show you exactly how temperature affects this process. Yeah, the temperature will affect the pace at which the leather is drying. Now the moment you open up the leather drying rack, you will immediately notice the difference in the menu. I had to think for 3 seconds to understand how it's working, but as you will notice, once you start, the process of drying will be displayed on the bottom half of the crafting menu, and it will start a timer on that given item. And now the non-intuitive part. Once you hover the mouse over the item that's currently being produced, you will notice some basic details about that item, including stuff like temperature and the modifier at which the drying takes place. At this point, all these drying racks have the same multiplier, but let's speed up the timer a little bit into the middle of the night. When the temperature will drop, we will notice changes in the pace at which these leathers will dry depending on the temperature next to the drying rack. The one left outside without a fire has 16 degrees and shows a modifier of 0.7, while the one next to the campfire with a temperature of almost 21 degrees will continue to have a modifier of 1.0. This small detail does create an interesting dilemma for us as players. Now, drying leather for 7 days is a really long time. I even checked with ChatGPT, and normally it should take between 1 to 3 days, but regardless, 7 days is long. A single drying rack is able to accommodate just 1 piece of leather, so this is something we need to take into consideration. Should we set up a workshop purely for leather tanning and drying, or maybe we should do it outside but next to a heat source? It's all up to us to decide. But it's an interesting mechanic, and it's not something that, you know, strikes you at the first glance, so I wanted to emphasize that because it's easy to miss. Another small change that was added that, well, I had to test just for the purpose of testing is the fact that you are now able to kill small animals without any weapons using just your bare hands. I did it, it works. I will never do it again. Thank you very much, Indie Stone. And while we are at the topic of animals, let's talk about something more pleasant. Now, guys, who likes to name their farm animals? Hands up. Now, my hand is up. I'm sure yours are as well. Now, with this new update, when you investigate the animal zone where the animals are, their names will be shown above each individual animal. So if you're wondering where Brenda is, well, now it's much easier to find Brenda. I like this change, I really appreciate it, and now I do sincerely thank you, Indie Stone. This is good. This is exactly the direction I am expecting this game to go. Now obviously this is nothing life-changing, but this next thing I'm gonna talk about is very useful. You see, as of 42.11, we will be able to collect bricks or gold bars from pallets. Now, I was always super frustrating seeing all these piles of bricks in various different construction sites without being able to really take advantage of them, and now it's possible with a simple right click. Another good change, guys. Another really cool thing which was added is how we can interact with mannequins and easily switch the gear we are wearing. Right now, when you have a bare mannequin, you can just use one click to transfer all of your clothes onto that mannequin. And then once you're butt naked next to that mannequin, you can easily transfer all that equipment back. No longer need to drag and drop all the different clothing items. You all do that with one click. This is super useful when you have some predefined types of clothes you're wearing for combat, or I don't know, you want to have a specific outfit for fishing. You can now have a couple of mannequins set up in your base and easily switch all the gear in and out with just one click. And before we go into the bug fixes, and I think there are at least a few which are worth mentioning, one more change I want to talk about, which I personally found incredibly hilarious, is the fall damage. Indie Stone dedicated an entire section of the patch notes just to cover the changes in the fall damage mechanics, but I figured it's much more fun to just test it, and yeah, I've built this massive staircase just to see how it works. Let's try it out. Fell from the 3rd floor flat on my face with no damage. I had to check if I turned off the God mode on, just to be sure. As you can see, the experiment was a great success. The fall damage is random to some extent. I would still not recommend jumping out of windows anywhere above the 1st floor, unless you're really willing to hurt yourself, but it was actually quite fun. I wasted 3 characters in total. I'm not gonna bore you with the rest of it. And finally, bug fixes. Guys, I was waiting so long to read these first 3 lines in the patch notes. No more janky mechanics, no more stomping the ground, no more zombies falling awkwardly on their back for no apparent reason. I think Indie Stone managed to fix all those annoying problems we've seen in combat since 42.8. My excitement, however, was quickly cooled down because I saw the next line saying there are some changes with bombs sensor range triggering, and just 2 days ago I released a video reviewing a mod called Extra Bombs, and I was really worried that this mod will now cease to work, but guys, good news, I have confirmation from the mod creator, it's working. Enjoy blowing up hordes of zombies. Now, this next bug fix might not be life-changing, but I found the description so hilarious I wanted to share with you. Fixed empty livestock trailers acting like temporal batteries that discharge all their stored time into first animal unlucky enough to be placed inside, killing the animal due to old age. I mean, how could that happen in the first place? That must have been such a hilarious oversight on the dev side that I just wanted to put that out. It made me laugh so hard. Now, the fruit salad thing did impact me personally. I was not able to make fruit salads when using crafted bowls, and I did not like it. But for the beer bottle mollies, I did not try it myself. Did any one of you actually tried it? I mean, the beer bottle is not big enough to hold a liter of liquid, which is a requirement to make a Molotov. Did any one of you actually had a chance to test and exploit this? Let me know, I'm really curious. One of the more annoying things recently was the fact that we were unable to make macaroni and cheese, and that's because the saucepan was actually not shown as full of water. So apparently Indie Stone fixed it, and guys, mac and cheese is back on the menu, let's go! Now, there are obviously tens of other bug fixes, including some of them here right now if you're interested, but I think the most important one by far is the fact that we've got the combat mechanics fixed. And now, I wasn't playing this release long enough to confirm that it's fixed. Let me know if you noticed any issues with fighting. I think combat jankiness was one of the biggest red flags recently. Lots of complaints on Reddit about it. I complained it myself during live streams. If that is fixed, I am extremely happy and will be playing with much more confidence and a smile on my face in the upcoming live streams, so go check them out. Okay guys, I probably missed a lot of stuff, so call to action as always. Use the comment section to pinpoint things that I did not mention or I got wrong. If you want to get in touch, my Discord is linked in the description of the video. By the time I am making it, we are at 99 members, and you actually have a chance to be member number 100, so what are you waiting for? And finally, massive thanks for all the support you guys are showing me on a daily basis by liking, by commenting, by sharing my videos. I really appreciate it. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel and you like what I'm doing, that red button is out there. Go click it. For today, that's everything. As always, I'm Gertrix. Cheers, guys.